All right. Here we go, folks. Everything's good. We are ready. It's
Damn.
a Monday night. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 Central. And Arknolia and the Doctor are back, folks. And this is
Yeah,
episode 34, I take it there.
that's what I got.
All right, good, good. All right, so our journey through the 60s rock period is still continuing at this point there. Now, mostly we're focusing on the pre-metal, psychedelic kind of stuff there. We already went through so many topics here, here and there. So it'll be interesting to see what we got here on this continuation of the list here, which is, of course, in alphabetical order here. Yeah, hear me in the background, dude.
Yeah, let me get there to. Okay, I usually have it up while I'm going, and
Yep,
I forgot I had my sound on.
yep. All right. And there are many times I had to do that. Of course,
Okay,
what I could probably do is probably possibly just get on the possibly turn my YouTube studio page up, which has this broadcasting, and also another tab open up with the same show program with the the same program going on. But the problem is that would create a massive echo, and then that will kind of distract us when you think about it. There,
yeah, that's probably not the greatest thing to do.
I would only do that when I'm doing either a techno or a dark ambient stream. That's what I would do actually.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'll tell you today
Yeah.
is we're gonna spend. This is gonna take more than one time to do this,
All right.
because there's lots of stuff to cover in this particular segment. We're talking mainly about, like I said, psychedelic underground,
Yeah.
pre-metal, uh, prog.
Hmm.
Some of these groups were like the forebearing. They kind of tell us what we're going to.
Yes. Hmm.
So so we'll get to this in just a second here. I'm
Working on some issues with your OBS here.
sorry about that. I had an interruption.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Basically, we left off with, I think, Hawkwind.
Yeah. So Lemmy Kilmister's old band before putting together Motorhead. Hawkwind
Yeah.
was a psychedelic prog rock group that focused mostly on space, all UFOs and everything else there.
Yeah, they basically call them a space rock band.
Yeah.
But
Hmm. Who cannot forget the song "Silver Machine" with Lemmy on vocals there, and also keep in mind that they had this female who often wore lots of oddballish makeup there, often danced on the stage in the nude there at times.
yeah, they were of course, they went through lots of lineup changes.
Yeah.
Group has, oh gosh, I'm going to say 30 to more albums.
Wow.
They did a lot of material.
I know a lot of people, in the past were recommending me a couple of their stuff there. My friend Joey O, back in Michigan, he even posted a couple of their earlier tracks as well on his Facebook there.
Yeah, there's several I could suggest, but I don't have them on top of my head.
I know one track they were legit did the song Motorhead, which Motorhead themselves
Right,
would later do it on a couple of their albums, including No
right.
Sleep to Hammersmith.
And then another one called Kings of Speed, which was a
Hmm.
pretty big song
Yeah.
for
And,
them.
and by the way, the name Motorhead, for those who did not know, was a term used for speed freaks because your head, when you're on speed, you tend to your mind needs to be rotating like a motor at times.
Yeah,
There was a guy named Jim Sherwin who played with Frank Zappa's Mothers of Invention. He was often nicknamed Motorhead, probably for that exact reason, possibly.
yeah, that's a good possibility.
Yep.
And then we also had H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, yeah.
which
The man,
was actually named after the science fiction writer.
I was going to say, oh, that is interesting. Absolutely interesting. I bet this group was their music darker, kind of like
Yeah,
dark, like
pretty much it was, and they were kind of a semi psychedelic band. So
wow.
they,
I never heard of this group until you told me about it. I thought you were going to talk about the author himself. It's like, wow, I didn't
oh
know
no,
the guy. I didn't know the
and
creator of the Cthulhu was a musician, or at least had a couple albums. Until you told me, I was like, holy cow, dude. Then we got to look that up for shizzle.
yeah, and there's one song in particular I was going to name, but I can't think of the name of it off
Oh,
the top of my head. Uh, Figures.
wow.
Maybe during the show I'll look it up later and bring
All
it
right.
up. Uh, I think it's That's How Much I Love You or something like that.
Okay.
I think that was H.P. Love. Well, at any rate. And another kind of psychedelic band that I'm going to mention, one of
Yep.
my favorites,
Yep.
Ultimate Spinach.
Huh? Ultimate Spinach.
Yes.
Okay, that's the new one. I was like, I'll bet you.
If you want to really hear some stuff that gets out there a little bit, in fact, one of their songs is named Ballad of the Hip Death Goddess, which that song is worth a listen.
Ultimate Spinach. Kind of sounds
Their
like
whole,
sounds like this is the ultimate spinach for your health. Popeye
yeah,
approved.
yeah, it's a Boston-based band,
Oh,
and they were supposed to be the precursors of the Boston sound in the late 60s.
I see. Yeah.
But definitely check their first album is fabulous. Their second album is really good. And the third one's kind of like what happened.
One of
That
those, huh?
Yeah, but that's kind of what happens sometimes with groups. But like I said, the one song which is worth a listen, probably pique your interest, is like I said, Ballad of the Hip Death Goddess. It's about 8 minutes and it's really freaky.
All right.
And then the next group I'm going to mention is also in the 60s, late 60s. United States of America was their name. They only had
Oh,
one
wow.
album.
United States of
But
America. Wow, interesting there.
one album, but it's a good one.
Interesting.
Especially the opening track, The American Metaphysical Circus.
Interesting there.
Now, when you start it, it's going to get into a lot of circus type music, and it'll do that for about 30 seconds to a minute, something like that. Then it really gets into the song, and that's a great song.
Okay.
And there's a lot of stuff on that album that's pretty good. And I think last time we mentioned Electric Flag, Michael Bloomfield's group.
Yeah, I know. I think you did mention it one time, if I'm correct there.
I was pretty sure it did, but thought I'd mention them again.
Right.
They did a song called Another Country, which is a good one.
All right.
And kind of psychedelic.
I see there.
And then the next one I'll mention is, I actually don't know when they were around, but they've got some good stuff. It's a group called Funkadelic.
Oh yeah, we know what member would emerge from that. George Clinton.
Yeah. One song that's particularly memorable to me is Maggot Brain.
Yeah, I was thinking about that album with the lady with the afro, screaming out while her body's buried in the ground.
Yeah.
That's kind of a freaky when you think about it. And there's a skull in its place on the back cover there.
And then the next one that I'll mention here is Spooky Tooth.
Oh yeah, Mick. Then this is the group that Mick Jones was involved in prior to putting together Foreigner. Keep that in mind.
Right.
And this is
Right.
also the band that originally did the song "Better by You, Better Than Me," which Judas Priest covered on their album "Stained Glass" years later. And this was the same song that got Priest in trouble back in 1990. Because
Yeah.
you remember what happened. Me and Wire talked about this on another show we did last summer. A couple of teenagers were listening to that album, that particular track. They were high, they were drunk, and they were hearing things like "Do it, do it," And they later formed a suicide pact, and so they blew a
Yeah.
couple of guns, blew their brains out, And the parents blamed the band, saying that they was saying that the kids were saying they were mesmerized by the music and all that shit there. No, they were drunk off their asses. And anytime we all know when you're drunk or you're high and you're listening to music or some sort of watching a movie there, you're going to see and hear things that are not really there.
Right.
We've seen that
Right.
multiple times before. Shit, I remember back in high school hearing kids talk about how they smoke the weed and then they all see the devil in front of them.
Right. And the other thing about Spooky Tooth is Gary Wright was a member of that group.
Yeah, who later put together his song Dreamweaver and the album of the same name, the title cut and Love Is Alive.
Right. And when we get to him, there's a lot of ground there because he's got some great stuff.
Yeah, also look up his version of Spring. No, I guess what? No, I think. Oh yeah, I forgot the album's title's name. It was called The Right Place, and I should look it up. There was a song that was a big hit on radio and on the old MTV back in the day, and I gotta check it out one of these
Go ahead
days.
and check that out. And while you're doing that,
Gotcha.
oh, you're not going to. I was going to mention a 60s band that I completely forgot about, but there's no wonder because they were a one-hit wonder. But
Yeah.
boy, was that song good. Blues Image.
All right.
Ride, Captain, Ride.
Oh yeah, that's the name of that song. That's the name of that song. I've heard that song many times up at the grocery store I work at and at the old Kroger's back in around the early 2000s. I heard that many times there. That's
It's
that's
a
who.
big song.
Wow.
But like I
Oh,
said, it's a one-hit wonder. It's the
wow,
only thing
man.
they ever did.
By the way, I found that
Well,
song that was talking about "Really Want to Know You" and came out in 19. I guess it came out. Was
yes.
it 19? Blah 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 blah. Son of a name goat. 1981. Booyah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then now we go to lists.
All right.
First one I got is a group called Moby Grape.
I've heard that name many times before.
They had some pretty good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were part of the San Francisco bit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10, I got a song called 3-4. Honestly, you're probably not going to know any of these, but they're worth a listen.
All right.
Number 9 is a song called Gypsy Wedding.
Mm-hmm. Kind of reminds me of that my gypsy wedding on that series on the was it the TLC channel if I remember.
Yeah, I guess. Number 8 I got is Boysenberry Jam.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7 I got is a song called He.
Ah.
H-E.
Yep.
Number 6 is Rose Colored Eyes. Number 5 is Place in the Time.
All right.
Number 4 is Bitter Wind. Great song. Number 3 is Can't Be So Bad. Number 2, you may have heard this one.
All right.
Murder in My Heart for the Judge.
I don't think I have, But then again,
Three Dog Night covered it.
Oh, okay. Murder by the Heart by the Judge. If I'm correct?
No, Murder in My Heart for the Judge.
Ah, I see there. That's some interesting title there.
Yeah, it's an interesting song. You really ought to take a listen to it.
Right there, definitely.
And number 1 is a song called Never, which is on there. They released the double album, which was Grape Jam and Wow. And it's on the Jam album. It's kind of about a 6-minute jam, real bluesy.
I see.
And that kind of covers Moby Grape.
All right.
And the next one I got we kind of talked about him, but we didn't really get into him. Was Country Joe and the Fish.
Oh yeah, a band who I remember was paid by Ed Sullivan not to play his program.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Because a lot of their songs at that time it contained a lot of four-letter words.
Well, not so much that as they were subject matter with stuff I guess he didn't want.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of, and
But
we got to remember that he came out with one of the Country Joe McDonald came out with one of the most profound anti-war songs of that period. I feel like I'm fixing to die jam there that he did at Woodstock there. Hey,
yeah,
1, 2, what are we fighting for? Don't ask me out, don't give a damn. Next stop is Vietnam. And which, along with War by Edwin Starr, 2 Plus 2 by the Bob Seger System, War Pigs by Black Sabbath, and got a couple of others that you mentioned as well.
oh, there's tons of them out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 10 I got is Here I Go Again. Number 9 is Who Am I? Number 8 is Maria, which is another anti-war song.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7 is I Feel Like I'm Fixing to Die Rag.
Yep.
Number 6 is, hang on a minute, I'm going to get something to read this because
Okay.
it's obscured.
The title?
No, the ink on the what I wrote.
Oh, okay.
Rockin' Around the World.
Ah.
Number 5 I got is Porpoise Mouth. Number 4 is The Masked Marauder.
Ah.
Number 3 is Bass Strings. Number 2 is Rockin' Soul Music.
Oh, yeah.
Also did it with Stock.
Yeah, I remember. That's the one that starts off with that one word, marijuana.
Yeah, but I was talking about the album cover.
I know, yeah, but still,
totally different.
but still, you can't help but think about that when you watch the movie there, and one of the guitar players holding a big ass weed on stage there.
Yeah, and my number 1 by them, it's a cool little song, I think. Not So Sweet Martha Lorraine. It's on their Electric Music for the Mind and Body album.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Next group I think you've heard of.
Yeah.
Cream.
Oh yeah. Eric Clapton, the only original member of Cream that's still around when you think about it. Ginger Baker's gone. Jack Bruce is gone. Which is sad because they came up with some good stuff back then. Real good stuff.
They only had, I'm going to say 4 studio albums, but 2 of the studio albums had some live tracks on it too.
Yeah, Wheels of Fire.
They only had 2. Yeah, they only had 2 that were pure studio. Because even the Goodbye album had 2 or 3 live tracks on it.
Oh, yeah. And Goodbye is a good album that they had a song called Badge, which is pretty damn good, when you listen to it.
Oh, we'll hear about it in a minute.
A great song.
It's a shame they didn't do a lot more studio because the studio stuff's pretty good.
Oh, when they got back together in the early 2000s, to do those shows at the Royal Albert Hall, they could at least say, hey, let's do one more Cream album there.
Yeah, that would have been great for all of us.
Yeah, it would have been, And considering the amount of mobility Clapton had gained throughout the years with his solo career and with the songs that were playing on the radio, like Tears in Heaven, My Father's Eyes, such and such, it would have been perfect timing, like for the people to figure out, oh, who's this group that Eric Clapton's involved with? Oh, he was involved with this band? Yeah, these are the guys that did White Room, Robert Johnson's Crossroads with a lot more power to it there.
Yeah. Okay, my number 10 I got is As You Said.
And that's the name of the band, right?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Song.
So, As You Said. Okay, there.
That was off of Wheels of Fire.
All right.
Number 9 I got is What a Bring Down, which was, I believe, on Goodbye. Then number 8 I have is I Feel Free, which was on Fresh.
Yep. And I remember that was a big hit of theirs, I remember.
And number 7 I got Passing the Time, which is another White Room song.
Yep.
Then the 6th one I got is kind of interesting because it's actually from a movie soundtrack and was never on any of the original albums, but it's on one of the redos. Anyone for Tennis. Interesting song. Number 5 I got White Room. Great song.
Absolute jam. That's the first song I heard from them.
Number 4 I got I'm So Glad. So glad, so glad, so glad.
Yeah.
Number 3, Sweet Wine, which is a good little song.
Yep.
Number 2 I got is the title's SWLABR. And what that stands for, I found out later, was She Walks Like a Bearded Rainbow.
That's interesting.
It's like weird, but that's a great song.
Interesting title alone.
Number 1 is Badge.
Oh, yeah. Great song. Good use of a mellotron on that track there, by the way.
Yeah, that's a fantastic song. And then obviously there's a bunch of great songs that I didn't get into, but it's pretty hard to make a list from this group anyway.
Yeah.
Because there's so many songs. I could have done 15 or 20 easily, but I'm trying to avoid doing that. And let's see, what have I got next here? Oh, I think you've heard of this band too.
Yeah, definitely.
The Grateful Dead.
Oh, yeah. Who hasn't? Who hasn't?
And they actually weren't just underground psychedelic. They delved into all kinds of things. They did some country, they did some blues. They just did everything.
A lot of things. So they were like one of the premium jam bands that were out there on the road continuously.
Absolutely. Some of their
bands
live
bands like the Spin Doctors, the Blues Traveler, Big Head Todd, and the Monsters. They kind of follow along that same period. They follow along that same mode that they originally started back then.
Yeah, and a lot of their jams on their live albums run 20 minutes or so in some cases.
Oh, wow.
They really, in fact, one of my favorite live songs by them. Let's see, did I put it on the list? Well, if I put it on the list, I'll mention it then, but if I didn't, I'll mention it when we're done.
And what? And it's also safe to say that whatever they had their concerts, whichever venue was outdoors or indoors, that alone was a Lollapalooza festival on its own because there'll be a lot of barbecues, a lot of people selling things, there'll be a lot of stuff set up there. All the deadheads be there, whether they're corporate businessmen or just regular hippies living out by the countryside, they will all show up, bing, bam, boom. It was a party.
Yeah. My number 10 song by them is something called Ripple, which is a great song. It's got a country feel to it.
Yep.
But it's a great little song. And number 9, I got Dupri's Diamond Blues, which is another interesting song. And here's the one I was talking about. Dark Stars, number 8. It runs about 20 minutes on their live album, and it's a great song.
All right. Nice.
Number 7 is High Time, which is off of Working Man's Dead, which that whole album almost sounds country.
Oh, wow. And that's the one with the cover of the guy with the ice cream being thrown to his head, I guess?
No, that's a live album.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking about this one odd cover that they had out.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I think it was a 3-disc album set there, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Live Europe 72 or something
like that.
Okay,
yes, thank you.
Number 6, I got New Speedway Boogie, which is a great little song. These are songs you should really find and listen to.
All right.
Number 5 is Estimated Profit. Number 4 is Viola Lee Blues, which is about 10 minutes. It's on their first album. Number 3 is their version of Morning Dew, which is another great song. And then number 2 is Saint Stephen, which it's also on the Live Dead album, but there's a good studio track of that one too. And then number one is a song called "That's It for the Other One."
All right.
And well, basically, I keep saying they're worth a listen, but I wouldn't have them on my list if they weren't.
Yeah, it's true. Keep that in mind, folks.
Yep. And let's see. Hang on.
All right.
Okay. And the next group I got is Vanilla Fudge.
Oh, yeah. Carmine Appice's band there.
Yeah, they basically did a lot of covers.
Yeah, now Carmine Appice is the drum legend. He played with this group. He later played with Rod Stewart. He did a stint with the band Blue Murder. He also with John Sykes, a former Whitesnake guitarist. He also played with Ozzy Osbourne for a while there. He also had this group called King Cobra in the 80s there as well. He's been everywhere.
And he also did an album with Beck and Bogert. One album.
Yeah.
Beck, Bogert, and Appice.
Tim Bogert and Jeff Beck.
Yep.
All right.
And nice. Bogert was also in Vanilla Fudge.
All right.
Okay, number 10 they did a cover of Windmills of Your Mind.
All right.
It was pretty good. Number 9, they did a great cover of Ticket to Ride.
All right. Got to check that out definitely there.
Number 8, on their second album, it's kind of, well, actually, it was on their first album. It's called Thoughts. I think it was an original, actually. And then 7 is on their first album, Take Me for a Little While.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, they did a cover of Eleanor Rigby.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty good. And number 5 is a song called Where is Happiness?
Mm.
Number 4 is they did a cover of Some Velvet Morning.
All right.
Which is actually pretty good. Number 3 is they did a cover of Season of the Witch.
Ah, the Donovan song there.
Right. And then I got number 2, You Keep Me Hanging On.
Oh, yeah. Classic. Pure classic. That was brutal, dark, massive.
And you want to hear a song that really gets down, they did a cover of the number 1 song for me of Shotgun. Which is really, really rocks. It's about 6 minutes.
All right.
But I think it's definitely worth a listen. And they did a concept album called The Beat Goes On that has some good stuff on it, but it does a lot of this bit, this bit, this bit, this. It's a concept with a lot of little bits in it.
All right.
But it can be worth listening to too.
I wonder what the story about this album is.
Well, it's basically kind of interesting. It's a history, kind of like a history of what goes on in music in the world and things of that nature. It's the interesting concept.
Kind of like teaching the people out there with music in the other countries there, if I'm correct.
No, it's kind of more of a history. And just talking like The Beat Goes On,
All right.
And it covers a lot of stuff. It's an interesting. Next group I got the list is Quicksilver Messenger Service.
Many times I've heard that name. Many times.
And they did some great stuff.
Now, if I'm correct, the bass player who would later go on, didn't one of their bass players later go on to play with Huey Lewis and the News, or was it a brother?
I honestly don't know. I'd have to look that up. In fact, I don't even remember their bass player's name.
Right. I don't even remember the bass player from Huey Lewis and the News, so that makes both of us.
Okay. Let's see. Number 10 I got by them is a song called Joseph's Coat. Number 9 is a very 20-minute live version of Who Do You Love?
The Bo Diddley cover.
Yeah. And number 8 is a song called The Fool on their first album. Number 7 is Doing Time in the USA. Yeah. Number 6, What About Me? Number 5, Shady Grove. Number 4, Pride of Man. Number 3, Maiden of the Cancer Moon, which is on that same live album as Who Do You Love, and it's a little bit on the second side. And it follows the number 2 song, Mona.
All right.
Which they do a great cover of that song. And my number 1 song, if you've never heard it, you should absolutely look it up. It's a song called Fresh Air.
All right.
Which is possibly their biggest song. And next one I got is a band that I like so much. I actually did come up with 15 for them. Spirit.
Oh, wow. Holy cow. This is the group, and by the way, if anybody who knows, Randy California, drummer Ed Cassidy were members of this group. They released a lot of albums, the 12 Dreams of Dr. Spartacus, if I'm pronouncing that name. Spartacus. Yeah, that was one of their... Okay, thanks. And of course, this was the group that would take Led Zeppelin to court a couple years back. That would last about a couple years out. Now, the problem was they had an instrumental song called Taurus, which has begun the same kind of chords that Stairway to Heaven started, but was a little bit different. But yet the estate of their lead guitarist, Randy California, took the Zeppelin to court, just claiming that plagiarism and all that stuff. And of course, twice Zeppelin prevailed.
Well, let me point something out too. Is Randy California had already passed at this time?
Yes.
And actually, on one of the liner notes I was reading, he mentions it, says he was flattered.
Oh.
So he didn't have a problem with it himself.
Yeah, so
it was the estate that did.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the same thing. Yep.
Because he was okay with it.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's like, I gotta also bring up this little thing here. You remember back in 1984 when Prince's Purple Rain was all over the map?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prince Spaghetti did this oddball little ad for to advertise their market. Ladies and gentlemen, Prince, with purple lights and everything. It turned out to be, that Prince Spaghetti. And apparently there was a lawsuit against Prince Spaghetti over that commercial there. Turns out in the following year, in an interview with Rolling Stone, Prince even said he thought that commercial was the cutest thing in the world there. It was the management who provoked that lawsuit there.
Yeah, a lot of the time the artists don't really care.
Yep.
Some of them do, but a lot of times they don't.
Yeah, I know.
My number 15 is a song called Gramophone Man, which is on their first album.
All right.
Number 14 is on the 12 Dreams of Sardonicus.
All right.
It's actually a dual song, one of those that has, two pieces that are interwoven.
Yeah, like one beat into one tempo, and then it later goes to a different tempo.
It's 2 songs, but they're connected. And it's Love Has Found a Way, Why Can't I Be Free?
I see what you're talking about with a slash between them, right?
Right.
We've seen that many times, did that many times,
Yeah. Number 13 is a song called Mr. Skin, which is actually on 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. Number 12 I got is Animal Zoo, same album. Number 11 is on their first album, Fresh Garbage.
Number
10 is a song called Uncle Jack. Let's see. Number 9, Canyon Fire in General.
You kind of went out a
Number
little
8, I
bit
got
there.
a lot of you probably heard me.
Um,
Oh, no, Great Canyon Fire in general.
all right.
Number 8 is a song that most people are familiar with. I Got a Line on You.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever heard Alice Cooper's version of that track from 86?
Yeah, a couple of times. It's actually
86,
pretty good.
88, damn badass jam there. Badass
Yep.
jam.
Number 7 is 1984, which was kind of a precursor, about the year, the
About the year,
Orwell novel.
kind of like same thing with George Orwell's book. Because I remember
Right.
David Bowie had also a song with the same title, but I don't know if it had always
They
had
were
the same
different
thing.
songs.
Yes, obviously, I'm thinking the same thing.
Yep. Yeah. Number 6 I got is So Little Time to Fly, which is on, I think it was the Clear album.
All right.
Number 5 is Nature's Way, which is a cool little ecological type song.
All right.
Number 4, here we go, is Prelude Nothing to Hide, which is on Sardonicus.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it this way, Sardonicus is worth a listen, the whole album.
All right. Alone the cover on it, I have all the band members with all this makeup on, looking like space aliens, and the picture is altered, in a lot of ways there. But then again,
Yeah.
that was the style back then for album covers and images of that sort.
And number 3 I got is Mechanical World, which is on their first album.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is on Sardonicus again, When I Touch You.
Right.
And my number 1 is on the second album, The Family Plays Together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a song called Aren't You Glad? And the thing that's interesting about this song is Brian May of Queen was credited with that wailing sound on the guitar that he does.
Oh, wow.
This song predates that by several years.
I'm thinking the same thing because it may have been either a different Brian May or something else. I'm thinking.
Well, this is obviously Randy California doing this, but like I said, that Queen guitar sound that Brian May does,
Yeah,
has often been called his sound. Well, it was done before him, and Aren't You Glad is a great example of how they did it. And you'll hear it throughout several Spirit songs because Randy California did that a lot.
all right,
But Aren't You Glad is a great little song.
all right.
And Spirit has had at least 3 of their albums with the original group are definitely worth a listen. The first one, The Family That Plays Together, and 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus.
Yep.
If you like those 3, you can move on to Clear, which is not bad.
Yeah, I remember seeing this one video was long version of I Got a Line on You, and it featured basically was a studio session where the band is performing behind some sort of a green screen, some sort of blue and green screen. I guess it was live or something. It featured a lot of people playing with them, including Howard Lees, the guitarist from Heart, and a couple others there as well. And I think Mark Ades, who was one of their bass players, he would later go on to join Heart toward the later half of the 1980s.
Yeah. And another group, I'm trying to remember if another group that did a pretty good version, I Got a Line on You, is Blackfoot.
All right. But then again, Blackfoot also did a good version of Wishing Well, the Free song with Paul Rogers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Next group I got is Traffic.
Oh, yeah. Organized Chaos, according to their drummer, Jim Capaldi.
Yeah.
This is the group this is the group that where Steve Winwood would gain his fame after the Spencer Davis group.
Yeah, and Dave Mason was always in this band too.
That's right.
In the first 3 albums.
Yeah.
And they did. This is definitely a trippy group.
Absolutely.
And they did some great stuff.
An experimental group, but basically one of the premium experimental bands out there.
Yeah.
One of
I did
one of the
15 for them too.
oh yeah, one of the greatest songs. I know it's going to be included on. I'm not going to mention, but you know what song I'm talking about there.
Oh, it's probably my number one, but we'll get there.
Absolutely. Yep, we all know this. And you know which one we're talking about, folks, if you're our ages.
If you don't, you will.
Hmm.
Okay, number 15 is a song called Hole in My Shoe, which does some weird little traveling bits in it, but it's a fun one to listen to. Number 14 is Just for You.
All right.
Number 13 is You Can All Join In.
All right.
Number 12 is House for Everyone. Number 11 is Smiling Phases, which Blood, Sweat, and Tears covered.
Yep.
Number 10 is Heaven is in Your Mind, which Three Dog Night covered.
All right.
And
I think it was that version was on the one called simply Three Dog Night or One.
I believe so.
Yeah, because I had that record as a kid.
Number 9 is Colored Rain, which Eric Bird and the Animals covered that song.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, it's here somewhere. Crying to Be Heard.
Mm.
And number 7 is it's actually a live song on the Last Exit album.
All right.
Called Feeling Good, and it's a cover of a very old blues song. It's good. Number 6 is Empty Pages off of John Barleycorn Must Die.
Oh yeah, interesting title. I always wanted to know about the title of that album and who John Barleycorn.
Well, John Barleycorn was I think the story was that he was a teetotaler that was against. I don't remember the exact story, but it's worth a look up. I used to know.
Let me look it up here. John Barleycorn, you know.
And I'll move on to number 5, Paper Sun.
Okay.
While you're looking it up.
Okay.
Number 4, Pearly Queen.
All right. Song by Fairport Convention. Wait a minute. Hold up there. Let me okay, there we go. It was the fourth studio album by Traffic, released in 1970, and the album was less successful in the UK, I guess, and it's been certified gold by the National Institute of blah 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 and all that stuff. The single "Empty Pages" spent 8 weeks in the Billboard Top 100, peaking at number 74. The album did. The album was marginally less successful in the UK, reaching number 11 in the UK albums charts.
Yeah, it's a good album, actually.
Yeah.
In fact, my number 3 song is off that album. It's one called Glad.
Yeah. I remember hearing about that as well.
Number 2 I got is Dear Mr. Fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Jam and a Half there. I heard that song way back then on the... this was a United Artists compilation from that advertising people on that record label there, because Traffic and was signed to that label, and they had the Bee Gees, they had Cream, they had a whole bunch of others, and they also had Traffic's version of Feeling Alright as well.
Yeah,
and I remember
actually there's their song.
Yeah, Dave Mason wrote that song, folks. By the way, but you should know.
Yeah.
In fact, from what I understand, according to this album here, 68 Traffic disbanded, with the guitarist Dave Mason leaving the group with a second tire. Steve Woodward got involved with Blind Faith. Jim Capaldi and Woodwinds player Chris Wood, to return to the session work. And then they decided, Ginger Baker decided to do Ginger Baker's, let's see here, Blind Faith's drummer, Ginger Baker, in his post-Blind Faith group, put together Ginger Baker's Air Force. I guess it was after Cream disbanded. In the beginning of 1970, after the demise of Blind Faith, Woodward returned to the studio to make his first solo record. It was what have been called Mad Shadows. He recorded 2 songs with Guy Stevens, but yearned for the like-minded musicians to accompany him, including Capaldi and Wood to join him. You know, his solo record became the reunion of Traffic without Dave Mason and the relaunch of the
Right.
group's career.
Yeah. And can you guess my number one?
Let me guess. We all know this one like the back of our hands. The low, the low spark of high-heeled boys.
You're correct, sir.
Oh yeah, great jam right there.
Absolutely fantastic
Yeah,
jam.
great song to listen to there.
Yeah. I mean that I don't see how anything else could be number one.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Next guy I'm going to cover because it's actually a guy and a band and
All
whatever.
right.
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. One of
And
one of the great guitar players out there. So many people have tried to mimic this guy, try to learn his technique. So many people have idolized him for his guitar work because the man was beyond awesome.
he was absolutely brilliant.
He was,
Yes.
and it saddens me, that the guy died so young. I mean, he was 27, but then again,
Yep.
and it was when you think about it, I guess he must have been under a lot of pressure. Either was under pressure or an accidental or whichever way. And the guy had just done his first recording. He was supposed to record an album called First Rays of the New Rising Sun. They did a lot of
Right.
session work there. That album never got released. The tracks were
Well, it did eventually.
yeah, I did later on, yes, on a different label there, and when they all compiled all the tracks, but they took the rest of the tracks that he already did, put them on all these other records that Warner Brothers came out with essential bunch of fillers in between the tracks there. One of the badass tunes that he did, I guess, for that album was a song called Dolly Dagger.
Yeah. Yeah. And Peace in Mississippi was another one on there that was basically an instrumental,
Yep.
which went all over the place.
And around this time, Hendrix was really starting to mature as a performer. People were so used to seeing Hendrix going every which way with his guitar, sitting on fire, smashing it here and there, doing all these oddball theatrics. Around this time, he was like just he traded his Stratocaster for a Flying V, the psychedelic
Yeah.
painted one that he did himself. It's kind of like starting, just concentrating on being a musician, playing and jamming and all that. I know he did a
Yeah.
performance at one of the Isle Right festivals there, and people are like, "Where are the theatrics at? Where's all this crazy stunts that he does?"
Yeah.
Yeah, which is which in a lot of ways. But then again, you got to remember, you can only do so much of that,
Right.
before it
Okay.
gets boring.
My number 10 by him is Fire.
Oh yeah. Still
You're
played
gonna
on.
have heard of
We
almost
all,
all of
we all,
these.
we definitely all, we all have definitely. We all. Are You experienced the whole album? Voodoo
Yeah.
Child, great album
Well,
from
hey.
him.
Okay. Number 9, I got Purple Haze.
Yep.
Number 8 is Foxy Lady.
Oh yeah, class. That's the first tune I heard from him on the radio.
And number 7 I got is The Wind Cries Mary.
Another one, good one there.
Number 6 I got Angel.
Yeah. By the way, that was apparently he was written about a song about an angel coming in to visit him. I guess for one of the stories I remember hearing about him, he had lyrics of a song about an angel when he was found dead.
Yeah. And number 5 I got is If 6 Was 9.
Classic tune there. That was also on the Easy Rider soundtrack there. And Axis Boulder's Love.
Yeah. Number 4, the Woodstock rendition of Star Spangled Banner.
From Motherfuck Yeah. Motherfuck Yeah. Along with Whitney Houston's version of that tune, that stands out. It was one of the best renditions of that anthem.
Yeah. Number 3 I got Third Stone from the Sun.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's actually voices slowed down when you think about it there.
Yeah.
He did that a lot on his earlier albums, like the first piece from the Electric Ladyland and The Gods Made Love. That was primarily that.
Yeah. Number 2 I got is the long version of Voodoo Child on the Electric Ladyland album.
Oh yeah, let me guess. The
One whole
17.
side.
Yes, yeah. That to me, I prefer. We love Voodoo Child, but the slight return version has been overplayed a lot of times. People also need to check these. It was being recorded with a bunch of friends in there because you see them all talking when they're done jamming there, and also
Yeah, and I
Steve Win.
believe Stevie.
Yep, he
Go
was
ahead.
in there. Yes, he was the one who provided the organ work for that when they recorded that there.
But that song is just definitely worth a listen. And
Absolutely, dude. It's like a good. It's a good session jam when you think about it. There.
yeah, yeah. And number 1 is a very psychedelic number that I really, really like. I can't even tell you why. I just do. 1983, A Mermaid I Should Be.
Oh, absolutely. Holy cow. Holy damn well. And the track that follows with it, tides slowly turn away.
Yeah,
That whole piece, those two pieces together, beyond phenomenal. Check it out, people.
it's definitely worth checking out.
If
It's
they if they
very,
re, if they release
very trippy.
very trippy. If they, dude, I had the original on vinyl back in the day. I'm hoping they have it on the vinyl now if I ever a chance to see it because I see the remastered, revisited version of Are You Experience, of course, which by the way is on the Experience Hendrix record label. I guess what it
Yep.
was is that the Hendrix family got a hold of all the copyrights of the recordings there because previously they were done by a man named Alan Douglas.
Right.
Of course, Hendrix estate finally decided to buy up the Hendrix catalog and reissue it the way it's supposed to be, covers and all.
Yep. Yep. And next group I'm going to talk about, we're only going to talk about Mach 1
Mach 1?
because Mach 1 is definitely different from Mach 2. We're talking Deep Purple.
Oh, yeah.
Mach 1 only had 3 albums.
hmm
Mach 2 had, well, actually they had 4.
And this was the
Um,
band, and these were the guys, this was a lineup that did their version of Joe South's Hush.
yeah, and actually that's my number 10 song.
Yeah. And they also
Uh,
recorded a couple of albums on old Bill Cosby's record label, believe it or not.
yeah, yeah. And for a long time, the third one was hard to find because after they recorded it and went to put it out, that's when Tetragrammaton went under.
Yeah.
And you had to really do some searching to find it, but now it's pretty much out there.
Yeah, pretty much on these little independent labels out there.
Yeah. Number 9 I got is a song called Ring That Neck or Hard Road, is what it's kind of known by.
Yeah. And when we're talking about Mark 1 of Deep Purple, we're talking way before Ian Gillan became their frontman.
Yeah, this group, there's about 7 different Machs, but Mach 1 and 2, Mach 2 is the big one, and
Yeah,
we
the
will get
big
to
ones
them.
that we know, yep, pretty much, yep.
But we'll get to them in a later bit because I'm trying to stay in the 60s.
Uh-huh.
Number 8 I got is their version of Hey Joe.
I heard that one.
Number 7 is on that third album. It's called Blind. Number 6 is also on that third album. Bird Has Flown. Number 5 is Chasing Shadows, also on that album. Number 4 is, I can't even read my own writing.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Go ahead there.
Yeah, Listen, Learn, Read On, which is on their second album, Book of Taliesin.
All right.
Number 3 is Shield, which is also on Book of Taliesin. Number 2 is Anthem, which is on Book of Taliesin. And my personal number 1 is their version of River Deep, Mountain High.
Ah.
which is a cover.
All right.
And we'll do Mach 2 in a later show because, like I said, then we're moving into a different, because that's when they became more metal. At first, that first,
More harder.
yeah, that first permutation was more of a, I guess what you'd call a pre-metal, a
Yeah.
little psychedelic actually.
Yes.
And it's different. Mach 1 and Mach 2 are different.
Yes.
It's
It was
it's kind
Mach
of
2 because Mach 2 was more massive, more harsher.
right. Okay, next band I got is Steppenwolf.
Oh my goodness gracious. Now you're talking. Of course, we know the two songs that are constantly playing on the radio, Born to Be Wild, Magic Carpet Ride, but they did some other songs out there like Suki Suki, Rock Me Baby. They had one
Well,
called Monster.
I got 15 by them,
Oh yeah, go right ahead, dude.
and they were kind of pre-heavy metal. They were close
Absolutely.
enough that you could call them
The
the heavy
line,
metal.
the line Heavy Metal Thunder in the song Born to Be Wild pretty much summed it up. Even though none of the members of Steppenwolf wrote that song, that guy was written by a former member of John Cage's former band who went under the name Lars Bonfire.
Yeah. Number 15 is a song called Renegade. Number 14 is Suki Suki. Great song.
Yeah.
Number 13 is Snowblind Friend. Number 12 is Ball Crusher.
Ah. Sounds like one of those women that could crush your balls with what she says or what she does in a lot of ways.
And number 11, I got Pusher.
Oh yeah, one of the most profound anti-drug songs of that period there. They're really condemning the Pusher Man in that one there.
Yeah,
The lyrics of that song pretty summed it all up.
yeah. And number 10 is low on the list because to me it gets played a lot. Born to Be Wild.
Oh yeah, but a great song. Don't get us wrong,
But
but
it
it's
didn't.
overdone.
Number 9, I got Magic Carpet Ride, same reason.
Yep.
Number 8 is I guess, a pro marijuana song. Don't
Oh.
Step on the Grass, Sam.
Ah.
But it's a cute little song.
Yep.
Number 7 I got is Your Wall's Too High. I'm going to dwell a lot in the first album because that album's just great.
Wow.
Number 6 is Desperation. Number 5 is A Girl I Knew. Number 4, Take What You Need. Number 3 is Ostrich. Number 2 is a song called Everybody's Next One.
Mm.
And my number 1 by Steppenwolf is Monster Suicide America.
And that's from the
That is
album Monster. I
Yeah,
guess
that is
that's
a
that's
fantastic song.
oh yeah, that's an interesting cover as well. The album Monster. When you look at it,
Yeah,
if you ever see it on Google Images, definitely check it out. It is most interesting.
yes,
A lot of those bands at that period had a lot of interesting album covers. When you think about it, there,
oh yeah, this stuff they just don't do anymore.
I know, and they need to start doing again.
Yeah, you younger ones are missing out. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like I said, you need to go to the nearby independent record store. Look out all the used vinyl they got up there and see what we're talking about.
Yeah, my next band that I want to cover is Iron Butterfly.
Oh yeah, we know the main song from this group there,
Yeah,
and we all know it like the
and
back of our hand. And the story was that one of the members was trying to write a song called "In the Garden of Eden," and apparently the guy was drunk. And the guy, what's the name of the song you're writing? It came out as "In the Garden of Eden" because he was full blasted. He
yeah,
was wasted off his ass there, and it just ended up being the title of the song and the album.
yeah, And they were kind of, it's hard to classify them. They were psychedelic, but again, they had a lot of elements of metal.
Yep.
But they were one of those that fell into several different spots.
That's sure there.
My number 10 by them is Stone Believer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is You Can't Win. Number 8 is Lonely Boy. Number 7 is Beast. And again, these are songs you should find.
Right.
Number 6 is Soul Experience. Number 5 is In the Time of Our Lives. Number 4, I put In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida here, but it could easily go up. It's just it gets played a lot, and not everybody knows that song.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Number 3 is Filled with Fear. Number 2 is the Iron Butterfly Theme.
Yep.
Instrumental. And number 1 I got is an interesting choice, I suppose.
Yep.
A song called Butterfly Blue,
Mm.
which is about 15 minutes long, and it does some experimental stuff in the song.
Yeah. Interesting, though. Definitely check it out, people.
Yeah. And then the next group, to me, is actually 2 groups or 3 groups.
Oh, wow.
But it's start off one group, they rename themselves, then they rename themselves again. And I'm speaking of Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my gosh.
We're only going to talk about Jefferson Airplane because we'll get into Jefferson Starship later.
Yeah, definitely.
Because to me, they're different groups. They're
3
not,
different
but they
groups,
are.
I know, yeah.
Number 10, I got a song called Volunteers.
Yeah, which is an anti-war tune there.
Yeah. Number 9 is Hey Frederick, same album.
Yep.
Number 8 is Good Shepherd, same album. Number 7 is off of, to me, probably their landmark album. Possibly their best one, although After Bathing at Baxter's could make a case. It's a song called Today, top of Surrealistic Pillow.
I think I heard that song one time on an 8-track over an old neighbor's house there.
Yeah. Number 6 is Crown of Creation.
Heard that song as well, yep.
Number 5 is off of After Bathing, Ballad of You, Me, and Pooh Neal. Number 4, Wild Time. Number 3 is one of those double type songs, which is Won't You Try Saturday Afternoon. Number 2, How Do You Feel? And my number 1 song by this group is White Rabbit.
Oh, yeah. And of course, although people, so many, it's kind of funny. When the Airplane got back together around 1989, when you listen to the interviews that Grace Slick was talking about that song, she was kind of like, she kind of like seemed like almost apologetic for that song.
Yeah.
When you think about it. Turns out that song was inspired by Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And yet people refer to it's kind of, she grabbed a good point. A children's story like Alice in Wonderland. Alice drinks this little potion, makes her big. Alice, she later drinks something that makes her a wee small.
Right.
And yet, this is a children's story. And it's interpreted into this song. And yet all the people out there are accusing her, you tell kids it's okay to take drugs and all that stuff, But then again, you got to remember, a lot of those people out there probably did drugs themselves. They're just probably making themselves look like martyrs.
Yeah. Next one I'll talk about, and actually you could spend a lot of time on this guy, is Frank Zappa.
Oh, my gosh.
The Mothers of Invention.
Oh, my gosh. I had the first album, Freak Out. If anybody who's ever listened to that album, get it. Listen to it on YouTube.
There's 2 or 3 of the songs that are going to make it on here.
Absolutely, yeah. Great album by those guys.
Number 10, I got the song called Stinkfoot.
Yep. from the album Apostrophe.
Yeah. Number 9 is Dynamo Hum.
Oh, class, overnight sensation about a threesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Interesting song.
God, I had that album on an 8-track at one point. I was listening to it. It's like I got to get this on vinyl, man, or cassette, which I did. At that time, it was just simply called The Mothers, with a whole different lineup
Yeah.
there.
Number 8 is off a Freak Out.
Oh yeah.
Return of the Son of Monster Magnet.
Oh my gosh! That if anybody who's ever heard that song, you'll prepare to be tripped out. It's a Jimmy Carr Black on the drums playing this beat while all these freaks in the studio getting down, getting freaky there, doing shouting, sitting here, a bunch of sound effects here and there. It is probably it's like Revolution number 9, but without the backmasking and everything. Well, there is tapes. There is a lot of tapes running at a hyper speed when you think out towards the end there, saying cream cheese,
Yeah.
cream cheese, cream cheese, named after one of the characters they came up with, named Susie
Son of
Cream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 7 I've got is Don't Eat the Yellow Snow.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's also from Apostrophe.
Right. Number 6, Help, I'm a Rock.
Oh my God, from Freak Out as well there. That's another trip down. That album holds, albums like side 1 and 2 start out pretty normal, but side 3 and 4 is when you drift off to this obscure kind of stuff there.
Well, it can't happen here.
Yep, absolutely.
And number 5 I got is a song called Who Are the Brain Police?
Oh my gosh. Kind of like we got that on Facebook right now. People try to prevent your thoughts. When you think about it, the brain police are going to control your thoughts. Wow.
Yeah. Number 4, I'm the Slime.
That oozing out from your TV set. Another classic.
Yep.
Pretty much a statement. Zappa did that song at an episode of Saturday Night Live around that time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and for those who ever watched it, Zappa's playing the song. The audience is looking at the TV monitor up above, and there's a lot of slime, green slime, coming out from underneath the TV. When you think about it, there,
Yeah.
kind of like goes with the tune there.
Yeah, I
But
remember
basically,
that song.
and when you think about it, the TV today it's irrelevant. It's really relevant to what the kind of television that we got right now that's on the networks. This is why people are going towards these streaming channels like Peacock TV, Netflix, HBO Plus, Disney Plus.
Yeah. Number 3 I got Dirty Love.
Oh yeah, another one from Overnight Sensation.
Yeah. And number 2 is about the only more modern song I've got. His Disco Boy.
I don't think I've heard that song before.
Oh, you got to listen to that one. That one's typical Zappa.
Oh yeah, I guess it's a take on the disco scene around that time.
Exactly.
Because he had another one. He had another one that was kind of a take on the on that particular scene called Dancing Foo. It came from from 1979. That album called Chic Your Booty.
Yeah. And my number 1 song, Cosmic Debris.
Oh my gosh, one of those. I know what you're talking about. And you know what? We've been getting a lot of cosmic debris in our Twitters, in our Facebook pages. We get that on the phone. We get these people try to scam you, try to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge on the phone, on Facebook. But they're still doing it today.
Yeah. Is that a real poncho or a Sears poncho?
And what's kind of funny, they're trying to do everything. It's now getting to the point they're trying to, check out this webpage. It's just a porn page. Meet up this girl and fuck. That's how they're doing it right now. And I had to report a whole bunch of those on YR's channel, believe it or not. They were all over the place in the comments section. I had to report them all. And I even Skype messaged YR about this issue. They're like, dude, you need to pay more attention to your comments section. You get a lot of spam there.
Next group I got's kind of a blues psychedelic band, I
Mm-hmm.
guess for lack of a better term.
All right.
Canned Heat.
Oh yeah, there was yeah. I remember Bob Height was the singer's name. He was the big
Right.
guy of the group.
And then there was Alan Wilson, which was the guy that did all the high stuff.
Oh yeah.
My numbers,
And Bob Height was the guy who I thought when I first heard songs like "Going Up the Country" and what's that other one song, I thought it was Kermit the Frog at first.
yeah, On the Road Again, and that's
Oh
Alan
yeah.
Wilson singing those
Oh
two
yeah.
songs.
All right.
Number 10, I got the song called Evil Woman,
Mm.
which is on their Boogie with Canned Heat album.
And this is not the ELO tune there.
No, not even close.
All right.
And number 9 I got is Let's Work Together, which is off of Future Blues.
I think I saw a performance of that on one of those retro programs back in my
That's
teen
possible
years.
because that
Yep.
was pretty close to being their biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Same All Over.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, the song called Get Off My Back. Number 6 is Boogie Music.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 is Sandy's Blues, which is a very, very good bluesy tune.
All right.
Number 4 is Going Up the Country, which you probably heard.
All right. Absolutely many times.
Number 3, I got On the Road Again, which you've also probably heard.
Yep. Many times there.
Number 2 is a song called World in a Jug, which is a good song. And number 1 is kind of an interesting choice, but I really like this song. It's called Fried Hockey Boogie. It's about 15 minutes long, and it's one of those songs they demonstrate to you how each of the boys in the band does his little thing, as it says in the song. And they just basically all play a little bit. But the coolest one in there is when the guy named Henry Vestine, who they call Sunflower,
Uh-huh.
plays the fuzzy guitar. I mean, that bit is just kind of like, whoa, really good. And I guess the last one today, which is a good one to end on,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the Doors.
Oh yeah. There we go. I remember Henry Rollins from Black Flag called them the antidote that contained the disease.
Yeah.
And I guess also safe to say that Jim Morrison would be considered one of the first gothic rockers out there, because he wrote a lot of dark stuff when you really think about it. People only think about "Hello, I Love You," "Light My Fire," or "People Are Strange." They did write some pretty obscure stuff there when you dig deep.
Yeah. Yeah. My number 10 song is People Are Strange.
Yep. Which
That's a good song.
Which Echo and the Bunnymen perfectly covered for the Lost Boys soundtrack years later on.
Number 9 is a song called Indian Summer.
Mm.
Number 8, Light My Fire.
Oh yeah, it was kind of funny. They had the full version of that album didn't get played on the AM radio because of the time length and stuff. But when FM radio emerged, then definitely that full version would definitely be played for a lifetime.
Yeah. Number 7 is Riders on the Storm.
Classic tune there. And by the way, that's the song that apparently would be the inspiration for the movie The Hitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killer on the Road.
And number 6 I got is Queen of the Highway.
Mm.
Number 5 is Waiting for the Sun.
Oh yeah, great tune
It's
there.
a song.
Title cut of the album, the same name.
Number 4 I got LA Woman.
Oh yeah, which was his love letter to the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah. Number 3, The End.
Oh my goodness gracious! One of the most. Have you ever heard the remix version that came out years later, which Morrison
Oh,
would say
yeah.
"fuck"? Oh my cow! Apparently that was original. I believe that may have been in the original mix, but they edited it out because at that time, four-letter words like that were not allowed on albums.
Yeah, they basically masked it.
Yeah,
It was probably there, but we couldn't hear it.
yeah, but they probably
Number
brought
two
it
I got
back.
is yeah. Number two I got's a song called "Not to Touch the Earth."
Another good song there.
Oh yeah,
And that was part, and
those
that
ending
was,
chords are
and by the way, that was a part of a thing called the Celebration of the Lizard, which was supposed to
yep
been
right in the
on.
middle of it.
Yep. And apparently, the Celebration of the Lizard piece was kind of like sacked at the last minute there, and only a couple of tracks from that whole suite there will have made would later end up on Waiting for the Sun.
However, if you want to hear "Celebration of the Lizard" complete, it's on their live album,
Absolutely live, yes.
and it's a good listen.
Uh huh. And
My
around
number
that,
one song.
go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I was going to say my number one song by them, "When the Music's Over."
Yeah, good song there. Absolutely. Around, it's kind of funny is that around that time, when around when the Absolutely Live came out, at that time, Morris and Doors were the type. They were basically like other bands, they're getting tired of becoming human jukeboxes, expected to play the
Right.
hits, the hits, the hits, the hits, the hits. Like there'll be for instance, Morrison would ask, what do you want to hear? And the people would say, light my fire. And instead of doing that, they would do a Celebration of the Lizard.
Yeah.
But
Which,
they get,
like I said, that's a good listen.
yeah. But it also proves the point how what some bands are getting tired of being human jukeboxes when you look at
Yeah,
it.
they don't want to play the same songs
Like,
over and over.
yeah, which sadly, I kind of like what I have to address the thing with Pink Floyd there. They have all the year when you listen to their concerts, watch their DVDs, they always play stuff from Wish You Were Here, Dark Side of the Moon. On the last ever tour they ever did, which was in '94, they only dug deep in so far was Astronomy Donomy, the Sid Barrett tune there, but no longer would you ever hear songs like Cymbeline, um, Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, or Lucifer Sam, or Bike, or any of those tunes, or stuff like
Yeah,
Obscured by Clouds, Fearless.
Nile song.
Yeah, the Nile song
Well,
from The More, a great album there, I recommend.
when we get to Pink Floyd, I'm going to divide them up in threes. We'll
Mm,
do the Sid Barrett, well, pre-Dark Side,
yep.
basically. Well,
And after the Dark Side, and
no,
then the third one would be without Roger Waters.
right.
Hmm. Good
And
choice.
actually, I'm trying to think of whether to break it off at Dark Side or Metal. I
Mm.
don't know which place to include Metal.
The album Metal, which by the way
Right.
is spelled excuse me, MEDDLE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to put them with the Sid Barrett years because it wasn't quite, they hadn't reached the point that they did with Dark Side where it was a kind of, hey, concept, boom, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So they kind of
But
changed their,
at that time they were coming to their own officially there.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But we'll spend plenty of time on Pink Floyd when we get there. In fact,
Absolutely.
actually, the Sid Barrett years we'll cover, I think, next week
All right.
or next time,
Or
whenever that might be.
next time, yeah, I have to check my next day off there. By the way,
But that, this looks like a good spot to stop this one,
all right there.
and we'll pick up a continuation of this type of music next time out.
All right, definitely. Yeah, so I think it's time we head out of here. It's good finally to get on the air with you once again. It's been a
Oh
long
yeah,
while because a
yeah.
couple of weeks there because of my work schedule and everything else there. I'm
Well, that's
hoping to
okay.
get.
The important thing is work.
Yeah, and it's true there. Because after being I'm not going to go over there, but after being last year out of work up until November, it was pretty harsh on me, man.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. All right, so we'll end the program for now, and then next time I'll have to check my schedule, and I'll let you know when we could do this again there.
Okay, just send me a message.
I will, absolutely. I'll Skype message you, dude. All right there.
Okay.
So, that's going to take care of it for tonight's program here. I'm glad we're able to do this after a couple weeks. And like I said, we're also hoping to get a couple people along. I'm hoping possibly we could get Falmouth Ken on this program when has time there. But then again,
Well, yeah,
everybody else's
we're
time is different
possibly
than ours.
reaching a point. We're possibly reaching a point that some of the people we know are going to know more about what we're talking about. Because honestly, the stuff we were talking about before, for the most part, you and me are probably the only people I know that know something about it.
Yeah, that's true there.
And I educated you on some stuff. So.
Absolutely, you did. All right, so that's going to do it for tonight for myself and Arknolia Stroke of Bean. This has been episode 34 of our Music Memories series there. Everybody have a good one. Subscribe to our channels. Leave your thoughts, comments in the comment section there, and give us some ideas on what episodes we should do next on. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right there. You guys have a good one.
All right.
Bye-bye.